We are straight live.
Straight live without the intro, bro. It's messing me up. Messing me
Indeed.
up. Man,
Indeed.
hold up. I can't put us on these godforsaken lights. Ugh.
Yeah, step in
A
mood.
little bit. A little bit. How are you doing this week, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. Go back to work tomorrow, so that kind of sucks. But it is Monday, the 29th,
We've been off
10
this last week,
p.m.
or
Nah, just my regular days off.
oh yeah,
I
we had the same
wish.
days off. That's right, man. Crap. Going back to work sucks. We've been
It
it's been crazy out there, man. But hey,
is
Beth,
crazy.
how's it going?
Hey, Beth is here today. Welcome to the show.
Welcome,
So,
welcome. Today we're going to talk about religions. Religions,
for entertainment purposes,
entertainment purposes, opinion based, no hate. Disclaimer, I don't care what anybody believes in. I'm not a hater. Just here to talk about different religions and how we feel, maybe how it's affected us in our lives, maybe, because you can't get away from it. Everybody, talks about religion. Um,
yes. Even if they believe it or not, they know about it.
Right, and it's always you're always divided into classes. You're either a believer or you're an atheist or whatever, or agnostic or whatever
There's
you
so
want to
many
call it.
different classes now. Shoot,
Mm-hmm.
like I consider
It's
myself
the
more of a new age, I guess, if you had to title it. I have my own specific belief system in a way, but I guess new age is closest.
that's probably as close to the definition of like what I would say that I believe as well is like more new age, which I hate being grouped into anything because just hate. I hate how everybody always wants to group everything into everything, but whatever. So I had some,
I
I
know
did
it.
a little bit of research on this subject and wanted to know how many different religions there are actually in the world. So estimates vary, but there are around 4,000 different religions in the world today. This includes a wide range of groups from major world religions with millions of followers, even billions actually,
Wow.
to smaller indigenous religions with only a few hundred members. So, what do you think is the most populous religion in the world? Like, what do you think? Which religion do you think has the most people?
Christianity.
Yep. Well, this is just estimates. So 2.4 billion followers according to Google. The next up would be Islam with 1.8 billion followers, and then you got Hinduism with 1.2 billion. It's like
Buddhism.
it's pretty much in one country too, bro. Hinduism, like I mean, pretty much. It's just India. India is so populous. Buddhism is the next one, 500 million. Sikhism,
Taoists.
25 million. Yeah, Judaism, 14, and then it goes down further. But these are just the major ones. Um, can't really get around hearing about Christianity. It just, everybody knows somebody that's Christian. I think this country itself is predominantly Christian.
Yeah.
Um, I would
We got to
say
keep in
that
mind,
I
though, a lot of these are actually considered philosophies. What is the word I'm looking for?
philosophical
Philosophical,
nature.
not so much religion. Like Buddhism, for example, they don't worship a god. I think Hinduism has gods, but I don't think they worship them. But I could be wrong. But
It's I pulled up a little bit on it a little bit ago. It's complicated, but to me, like when you really read into it, it's more, it's a lot like Christianity with just different names. Like the gods have changed, but the the faces have changed, but the people are the same. I don't know if that made any sense. It probably didn't, but whatever.
mm.
Um, that's not the point. Yeah, so I did a little bit. So I did compare and contrast on the Christianity versus Islam just to see, you know, like what the differences obviously are and what the similarities are. For a little bit of background on this, so like a few years ago, I went on a tirade and wanted to prove to certain people in my family that Christianity wasn't the only people that believe in God. And what I found when I started researching different religions and different belief systems all over the place is that I think that I became an omniist. I believe that there is not one religion is the full truth. I think that there's truth in all of the religions, and it's like a big puzzle piece, if you will. And
Agree.
that's honestly what I believe. I don't think any one, religion has it completely correct. Again, I think they're all just bits and pieces of one universal truth.
What's that
And
logo you see? That the coexist one that has all the different
mm-hmm.
symbols. I think it's something like that.
And that's that symbol. Like I wish that could be the case, that everybody could get along in this world. And the fact is, like, the reason why a lot of people feel alienated from like Christianity, for example, I'm going to use that one a lot because it's the one we deal with the most in this country, is because, like, not only, a lot of folks are judgmental as hell, but like the amount of wars throughout history that have been fought in the name of God or the name of different
Like the
religions is
Crusades,
insane.
yeah.
Like the Crusades,
Templars,
Knights Templar. I think that was all the Crusades, right? But
probably. It was a
just
big
in
one.
general, you like think about Islam. What's going on uh, overseas right now is pretty much a war of religion. Like all of this crap, and we're doing this in the name of God. Throughout the Bible, there's different wars fought in the name of religion. Like there's all kinds of different stories.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second. 1 second here. Stop video. I didn't mute myself.
Uh-oh. Okay. He'll be right back after this commercial break. Today's sponsor is there is no sponsor. I'm not quite that level yet, but maybe one day. But as a quick summary, while he's doing what he's doing, we're talking about religions today, different variations, the different views across the world, etc. Welcome back.
These godforsaken kids sometimes, bro. They just roll up on me, ask me annoying questions at the when I just set them all up just so I can get 30 roll in here like I'm not doing something anyway.
Is that too much to ask?
It is actually. The struggle is real. Anybody who has kids knows that. But I lost my train of thought. Summarizing religions. Good Lord. Frustrating.
Well,
Anyway, sorry
which is
about
the oldest religion that we know of?
that. I do believe I think it's Hinduism. So I think that would be a tie up between Hinduism and paganism. I think that they trace, I don't know, without actually sitting here and Googling it off the top of my head, I think it's Hinduism, but let's see. Let's ask.
Because I know even Buddhism
What?
is older than Christianity. I'm assuming that's about the same ballpark.
I'm honestly going to say that yeah, it doesn't. I knew it was going to say that. Determining the oldest religion is a complex question with no definite answer, as it depends on how you define religion and the available evidence. Here's why. Challenging in defining religion. Definition varies. Defining what constitutes a religion is subjective and often contested. Some emphasize belief in supernatural beings, while others focus on moral codes and shared beliefs. Limited historical records, evolution, and traditions. So Hinduism. Some argue that Hinduism, with roots tracing back to the Indus Valley civilization, 3,300 to 1300 BCE, qualifies as the oldest. However, its current form arose later, and classifying its prehistoric foundations at the same religion is debatable. Zoroastrianism is another one, around 1500 BC, and then indigenous Australian religions apparently. But again, it's hard to say. I would say that probably paganism, like in the book The Immortality Key that I was reading, like they trace, they call it the religion with no name, and they trace it way back to like the cradle of civilization, like as far back as you can go. They were, having these rituals. So I would say probably paganism if we had to get real technical, but that's not necessarily a religion either.
Right.
And we're in the definition game. What is a religion? What isn't? But
It depends on the part of the world too, like where you're at. If you're in Asia or Europe, all starts at different
Right.
time frames.
And it's pretty much impossible to escape the idea, of religion because it it's kind of the framework of a lot of our society, a lot of the rules that come from it. But I feel like we've gotten to a point now where we're getting away from having, the separation of church and state. Because back in the day, bro, they used to burn people. They burn people at the stake who were heretics. Say you did a video on the Salem witch trials, and like, imagine if
Yeah.
we lived in a society run by religion, and then hey, this motherfucker's a witch because he's saying something I don't like, and then you get burned at the stake with no
hmm
evidence.
hmm You
Like
can justify it.
that's a world run by religion, like where you go and stone someone to death for acting a certain way, that kind of thing. That is not a
Like
world that I want to live in. While I do
like back
agree,
in the old days, schizophrenia and all that was considered demonic possession.
but what if it is though? You never even know.
It could be.
They used to try to lobotomize people, so like I don't know, man. Thank God we ain't doing that. Go in,
Mm.
get part of your brain removed and stuff, dude. Have you read
An
about that
ice pick through
process?
your eye. Yeah, no
Nah, man.
thanks.
Not today, Satan. Not today.
Not tomorrow either. Oh god.
I actually just finished the book I was reading from. Man, I'm drawing a blank today. Today is the struggle. I need to start sleeping more. The
Same.
Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and like it gave a description of like what it views, like what he views the devil is, and it's wild, man. I love it. Love that book, and it makes me wonder how much of our society is actually controlled by this negative force, and we don't even realize it. And one of the claims that he makes in the book, it talks about that according to the devil, that the church leaders end up being like a recruiter essentially for the devil, because what do? They instill the fear of hell in you, and your whole basis of going to church and doing this is because you're afraid to go to hell. And fear is the
Yes.
dominating factor in your mind, and
Fear
like
tactics through
ultimately
religion.
right. And throughout history, that's what the religious folks have offered. Like that's what the religious leaders have offered is, hey, you know, I'm going to give you, when you die, because we're all afraid, everybody's afraid of death. I mean, just about everybody. But, hey, if you go to me, you're going to go to heaven. You're not going to go to hell, right? That's what what Jesus was teaching, right? Through me, you're going to go to heaven. But
That's a
I think he was talking
there's a huge
metaphorically,
contradiction
right?
in that though. Since Christianity is fairly new, does that mean anybody pre-Christianity is in hell?
It would, I don't know. It's a good question.
By their
I
definition, yeah.
think, yeah, I think there's probably somebody that would debate that. I don't have enough ideas or facts to debate that, but maybe you're a demon then. I don't think so, ma'am. I think you're a demon. I don't think people are possessed by demons.
Well, interesting
Not
point though.
necessarily demons. I think that
There's
our
different
understanding
variations
based right.
that demons could be
I
good
think
too.
it's possible. Shit, I think it's possible, but
hmm Who
I
knows?
think that people just have trapped energies inside of them that they don't deal with over time, and then they wreak havoc in their life, is what I believe it to be. But who knows? Who knows the truth on that?
I mean, I've seen these beings in my dream state, but I've never encountered one physically while I'm awake that I know of.
Hmm. Right.
And who's to
But
say
yeah,
that's a
man,
demon or what?
that
Can't say.
who knows, man. Like, who's to say what's real or what's fake anymore? So I'm gonna compare and contrast Christianity and Islam, since this is hell, is a hot button issue in our entire world right now. Like, and
Yeah.
show that they're pretty much the same thing. But anyway, Christianity and Islam are two of the world's largest and most influential religions, sharing similarities while also possessing distinct differences. Here's comparison across various aspects. Christianity was founded in the first CE by Jesus Christ, believed by Christians to be the Son of God who died for humanity's sins. Islam was founded in the 7th century CE by the Prophet Muhammad, who Muslims believe received revelations from God through the angel Gabriel. God and beliefs. Christianity, monotheistic, believing in one God who exists as three person, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Um, Salvation comes through the faith in Jesus, Jesus, and his sacrifice. Islam, monotheistic, believing in one God known as Allah, the all powerful and merciful creator. Salvation comes through submission to Allah and good works. To me, this sounds like Islam is pretty much Christianity pre Jesus. Like it's Christianity without Jesus, honestly. But Christianity, Bible, consisting of the Old Testament, Hebrew scriptures, and the New Testament. Islam, the Quran, believed to be the literal word of God revealed to Muhammad. Hadith, collections of the Prophet's sayings and actions providing guidance. Practices and observances. Christianity, Sunday worship, sacraments like baptism and communion, emphasis on prayer and personal relationship with God. Islam, 5 daily prayers facing Mecca, fasting during Ramadan, pilgrimage to Mecca, if able, giving alms, emphasis on community and following Islamic law, Sharia. So both religions believe in one God, love and compassion, good deeds and moral living. Both have concept of prophets, angels, heaven and hell. Both share common figures like Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, although with different interpretations. I don't know.
Is that all it is? Interpretation?
Pretty much, man. Everything, all of this is just different interpretations of one universal truth. That's the truth. That's in my opinion. Like, I don't believe you need religion to commune with God in any way. You could sit down in a meditative state and commune with God right now. Ask the yogis from around the world who sit in blissful meditation and literally contact the divine. Like, it's insane, man.
Mm-hmm. It makes me wonder, like, let's say back in the caveman days, you got some guy sitting around a fire, and all of a sudden he's like, "Is there a being up there who created all of this?" Who was the first person to even comprehend the idea of a all-powerful being?
It's a good
They even
question.
trace it that far back.
That's it's near impossible. So like again, like the immortality book, immortality key book traces, this as far back as they possibly can, and like it still doesn't complete a lot of the dots. I think that we have to look at an alternate view of history in order, and if we're going to ever get the truth, you know what I mean? Again, we're taught, the Bible teaches that basically Earth is like 5,000 years old, and God created man, and he was in the Garden of Eden, etc. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, carry on. Um, so I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Somebody sit around and just make up God, and did caveman all go to hell? Like, who knows?
They weren't saved, so and that's one thing I
In the
don't get. I cannot believe that's the case. That's why I can't say that's the only way to get to a higher realm is through Christianity, because there wasn't always Christianity. So people couldn't have been punished for not even knowing.
right, and that was one of the things that one of the arguments that I had with someone I won't name, because that's the reason why I set out to try to believe, like, research different religions, is that somebody told me that a Buddhist person, a Buddhist monk who lives in, meditation, complete service to others his entire life, is going to go to hell because he doesn't accept Jesus. That doesn't make any sense.
It
That
doesn't.
is completely illogical. You know what I mean? And that's the type of message that has never made any sense to me. Like, I think that
Me either.
that doesn't actually matter. I think that we just need to be, try to be love and unite as a people. And what a lot of these different things do is divide us even further. And that's the problem. That's the problem I've always had with religion.
Same. It's too much, too many limitations, too many contradictions. It's just, yeah.
Keeps you trapped in a box, man. Keeps you like anytime you ask questions, it's like, oh no, you can't ask that.
It's
Just
blasphemy.
believe. Mm-hmm. So I
Well,
also did a little thing. You know who Sadhguru is?
who's that? Sai Guru?
Sadhguru. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if that's like, dude, I'm just probably butchering the name, but it's a guru guy I follow on the internet. Apparently, I thought he was. I want to read this view because like he used to be like Hindu, and I assumed that all gurus were Hindu. But anyway, is known as
Mm.
Jagash Vasudev, comes from an Indian background with connections to Hindu culture. He doesn't explicitly identify with any specific religion. He often criticizes the limitations of organized religion and promotes a more universal spiritual approach that transcends religious boundaries. Like, I don't know, man. That's nuts to me. Like, I thought he was, I don't know. So focus on, here we go. Critiques on organized religion. He often critiques the rigidity and dogma of organized religion, believing that they can be divisive and lead to conflict. He encourages individuals to seek truth directly through individual exploration rather than relying solely on established religious narratives. He promotes a universal approach to spirituality that emphasizes human potential and inner transformation. Like, as we go on as a society, we're starting to realize that literally the most important thing you can do is transform inwardly. Like, it's everybody is realizing that. I have a friend who's going to see a you know a counselor or whatever, and they were talking about archetypes. I'm like, since when do counselors talk about archetypes? That's like a new age spiritual term. I
It
don't think
is, and
everyone goes to hell. I
well,
don't think
I don't
so
think
either.
it
I
helps.
honestly
I don't
don't.
think it's
I don't
eternal.
think
At
they would go
least
to hell.
I think there are lower frequencies and vibrational realms compared to ours. Like there's different levels, but I don't think you're stuck there for eternity.
Nope.
And even in
Energy
Buddhism,
cannot be destroyed. So
no, it always exists.
I think that we go through these cycles. I believe that ultimately we reincarnate, and I think that that's the most logical way to explain our existence, a logical way to explain the evolution of the soul. To me, in my opinion, I think we reincarnate until we essentially work off the karma, whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
forgiveness. Why do you think Jesus was so hell bent on teaching forgiveness prior to, apparently, in the early days of Christianity, they believed in reincarnation, and I think Jesus was teaching the end to it. You know what I mean? Like, if you forgive, you work off
Hmm.
that karma in your life. But
Hmm. One thing I want to touch on or ask you about before we wrap up, since half an hour's already gone by, what do you
mm-hmm.
think, or how do you compare the Christian version of Jesus compared to the New Age version, where he's considered an ascended master?
I think it's just two ways of looking at it. If you look at the way, like, I compared in one of my videos, I compared Jesus to like a hippie. He believes in love and forgiveness. That's like the core behind his message is love and forgiveness. And apparently in the lost books of Jesus, I forgot the exact title, but the lost years or whatever, there's no explanation in Christianity for that. Nobody's saying, hey, where was he at during his lost years? But apparently, according to different historians, he was studying under the different mystery religions of the world, like the Eastern religions. Like, he went to study under Buddhism, under Hinduism. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
what they're saying. Like, there's evidence that he like spent quite a bit of time in each of these places, historical evidence.
Yep.
But so that's what I believe. I believe that there's a lot more to his story than we're led to believe, and I think it's to fit a
Has to be.
certain narrative, carefully controlled narrative by the people who have been, controlling the game all along, the churches. You know, again, if you want to look into this, read the book The Immortality Key. I promise you, it will blow your damn mind. It will blow your mind how much lengths the church has gone, especially the Catholic Church, the Vatican, to freaking suppress this information. But
The
so I
one thing I
think you
want to
just have a different interpretation is what I'm getting at.
right. One thing I want to get to or get at real quick is Greek mythology, for example. They have multiple gods, but they're on a tier level. Well, Zeus is the highest level guy, so he'd be the
Mm-hmm.
guy with the big G, and all the other gods would be like sub gods. So who says Christianity isn't something similar? We have the one true God, but maybe there's other levels, like besides angels and stuff, that they just don't tell us about.
But it could be. It could be very well the case, like 100%, man. Like, again, we can only go off the information that we have and the information we're told our entire lives. Like, who knows what the true nature of history is? Like, we can only, read what we get, in the books. like the
Mm-hmm.
Bible or any other book, and we can only go as far as history will teach us, how much we can dig up underground, and we keep finding new discoveries every day that changes the narrative. And that's just the facts. I think that we're dealing with a human civilization that's way older by
Mm-hmm.
far than we're led to believe. And I think that, you have used the Greek gods as an example. Like, I believe that these are the same as the Roman gods. I believe that they're actually people, first of all. And I believe these same people are the true characters behind the Bible. If you really want to get technical, like, I don't believe that the God of the Old Testament is actually the real God. I believe that this is a controlling figure that has dominated humans since the beginning. You want to get technical, like,
I mean,
read the
think about it.
Sumerian stories, right?
He was so much more interactive in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, nothing.
And a lot of the one of the questions that always comes up about that, real quick, is they had so much interactions with God at that time, and where is that interaction now? You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, everybody's sitting and waiting for somebody to come save them, and like God to come and wipe out the wicked. And I don't know, man. Like, if it does happen, let's let it go, man. Let's let it fly. Let's burn this whole world. You know what I mean? I don't know, but
Yeah, it's all faith based. If he wants us to believe in him, why doesn't he just come down here and like, here I am?
yeah, I don't believe that you need the religion to commune with God. I don't think so at all. I think that anybody can have a connection with God. Just simple, dude. You could go and eat a big bag of mushrooms and have a connection with God. Like, if you can't, meditate. I don't care. I always say you got to mention psychedelics at least once in everything.
With me, meditation is really hard. I need something like that to help me. Even with my
It
crazy
is.
dreams, I need something like
I'm
that to
with you,
help me.
dude. Like, my brain is like always racing.
Oh yeah,
It's so difficult for me to sit. But I also found that you don't have to actually clear your mind completely to properly meditate. Like, it's as much just to focus on your breathing. Like, even if you can't get this here to shut up, you know what I mean? You can definitely just focus on your meditation or your breathing. I mean,
it's like
but
an awareness. Yeah, being in the moment. Like you're on your breathing, you start thinking like, okay, now I'm thinking this. Go back to my breathing. It's a matter
yeah,
of
and
control and discipline.
the reason behind that, bro, is because, like, breathing is subconscious. So once you start focusing on actually controlling your breathing, you take conscious control over your body. And that is the key. That's what brings you back to this moment in time, is the fact that you're focusing on that. And that's more important than just about anything. You know what I mean? We all get lost in the sauce out here. But
Indeed.
man, that freaking 30 minutes flew by here.
Yeah, indeed it did. All right. So I guess we'll get ready to wrap up here. I'm thinking next week I want to talk about the so-called myth. I don't even know if they confirmed it or not. The existence of the Black Knight satellite.
Oh, dude, that's a good one. That's a solid one. Freaking Billy Carson. There's a whole documentary on it, dude. Do you know the movie The Black Knight Satellite is done by Billy Carson?
I didn't know there was a movie.
Yes, there is. I'm probably gonna watch it then.
Is it on Amazon? Netflix?
I think it's for sale. I feel like it is. Or definitely,
I'll
it's
look it
definitely
up.
on YouTube. You might be able to watch it
I,
for free. Somebody, I'm sure, uploaded it. But
I didn't know there was a movie on that. I'm gonna check it out then. All right. So next
mm-hmm.
week we'll talk about that. Stay tuned next week, guys. Same time, same place. I know you got to get going,
Yes,
so we'll
sir.
catch you later, man.
Hope you have a wonderful day.
You too.
Evening, because it's late as hell for you.
Yes, 10:30.
That's really not that late.
Peace.
But all right, later.
Nah, it's not. All right. All right. So we're wrapping up tonight's episode. Tonight is Monday, the 29th. I want to thank you all for watching. Like I said, next week we're going to be talking about the satellite, and supposedly it's a object in our atmosphere that orbits the Earth, supposedly transmitting information or data. And it has been revealed there are pictures released, but then people say they're fake. But we'll get into that next week. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment. If you haven't already, subscribe. If you got friends who like this kind of stuff, share it with them. And we'll catch you next time. Have a great night.